Okay. So the conjunctive, or in English, subjunctive two, okay, is the mood of the verb, which is used to express actions, okay, or situations that are contrary to actual facts. Which means when we are using the conjunctive, we are not talking about the indicative. Indicative, like the active sentence. Okay, we are talking about something that may have happened. Okay, that may, sorry, something that would happen. Okay, and I said that a thing that may have happened in the past. Okay, so it's either used in the present, say maybe something would happen, or something would have happened in the past. Okay, hypothetical situations. Okay, which would be, which like basically which would be true or may not be true. Um, for conditional sentences, saying that if something would happen, something else, like it will have like positive and negative feedback. Okay, if something happens, something will happen. If nothing happens, nothing will happen. Okay, yeah, positive and negative feedback. Then they can like the conditions were otherwise than they actually are. Yeah, notice the difference between the indicative mood. So we have the opposite of the subjunctive is the indicative. Indicative in the like stating things that are actually real. Example, I will be happy. Happy being. He says, "It's yeah, go cool." And then says, "This is yeah." So you say, let's say I'm talking to my friend, and my friend is like, "Oh, I will come. I'll visit you on the weekend." Okay, it's definite. Okay, he said, "I will come." That means the person is talking about like actual fact. He will come. Then I will be like, "Oh, I will be happy when you come." When I say I will be happy when you come, it means like I'm sure that I will be happy when you come. So it's not if you come, it's when you come, because I know it's going to what happen. Okay. But the subjunctive is would be I would be happy if you come. If you came. Yeah, I will be happy if you come. Sorry, if you come, if you came, yeah. I will be happy if you came. Yeah, I will be happy if you came. Okay, so the first sentence, I would be happy. I'm not sure if I will be happy or not, because it all boils down to what you coming. So if you don't come, I won't be happy. And if you won't be able to come, it means it's like there's the case won't happen. Okay. But when I say I will be happy when you come, it means you are coming, and when you come, I will be quite happy. But I say I would be happy if you came. That's what I said. Yeah. And the past will be, oh, I would have been happy if you had come. Past me say, Anka Obaya. That's right now. The person that didn't come on the weekend. And I'm like, if you had come, like I would have been happy if you had come on the weekend. You can't change it, but you are just stating, say, if only the thing would have happened, if only the thing happened, you would be happy. You would have been happy. Yeah, Clark. Yeah, your question.
Well, for example, I would be happy if you came. In Sahanono, the verb will be building, right? Or that would it be the building or the verb?
No, come again. Which sentence? Is it the very first or the second? Let me write them.
No, the first one, I would be happy. I would be happy if you came. What I used to do, I would be happy if you came. And I be using the building or the verb. Which one will you choose?
Happy. Adjective. Adjective. We use verb. Don't use verb. We use the verb when we use the verb plus the verb in infinitive. So in this case, the normally the verb would be what würden sein, but würden sein is wäre. Okay, do you get it? Normally, we said in the conjunctive form for the verb sein, we form the conjunctive with würden plus the verb in infinitive, like the other verb in infinitive. So in this case, would be happy would be what? Würde sein, because to be is sein. But then with sein, haben, werden, plus the few other examples I made, I get the few other verbs I gave, finden, nehmen, wissen, plus all the modal verbs. We prefer to use the original conjunctive, which is wäre, könnte, müsste, dürfte, klar. So it should be wäre. But when you write ich würde
Okay. So in this case, maybe you
glücklich
should the
sein,
better.
yeah, use the wäre. But then if you write ich würde glücklich sein, wenn du kommen würde, it's still richtig. But then we prefer with sein to be sein, just use the word wäre. Okay, so the indicative will be
Okay. And now the second statement now I'm making, I would have come and maybe use them.
wait, I'm coming. I will be happy when you come. Okay, this is the indicative. Okay, it means we are talking about actual fact because the person said he or she will be coming on the weekend. Okay, yeah. Then the subjunctive, I would be happy if you came. Okay, this is a conjunctive presence. Okay, the indicative past will
Mhm.
be I will have been.
Right? If you hear the Yep. Okay.
Okay, subjunctive. No, when I say I will have been happy when you had come. Okay, like it's the past tense, but I'm just stating the real fact. Say, I know, say, I will have been what happy when you had come on the weekend. Okay, but for the subjective is when you are not sure. We are talking
Mhm.
about unreal situations, whether in the present or in the past. For this sentence, the indicative, sorry, the conjunctive will be what I would be happy if you came. Okay, yeah. Then the past will be what I would have been happy if you had come. What helped me to understand the present, like use the present easily in German, was that you say I would be happy if in English it doesn't exist. It's wrong to say I would be happy if you would come. We don't use the conditional sentence if with would. Okay, but in German we form the with when we use the wurde kommen. So in German it exists. Would come exist. That's how we form the conjunctive order. Are you following? Yeah, but
Mm, yeah.
in English, you can't say I would be happy if you would come. It's wrong. We don't use if conditional clause with would. Okay, but in German it will be in German, like when I'm to translate the sentence to German, it will be ich ich wäre glücklich, wenn du kommen würde. or that came, yeah. We prefer to use the original conjunctive for what? For common, which is cheme. So when do forest. Yeah. So here we chemist. We also conjugate them. Okay. Which means if I'm to translate this to English, it will be if you would come. Okay, but in English it's wrong to use when plus wurde. So
Okay,
it would
okay.
be which have a Vanessa, the indicative, the past, no, is it correct? Which love?
I
Is
think
it
it would
correct?
be I was happy when you came because
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah. We are talking. It
past.
actually happened in the past. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, sorry. Yeah, I was happy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Was happy when you came. Yeah, because we are talking about real facts. Yeah.
For the one. Yeah,
You
the
say,
hair bisa. They say hair bisa.
yeah. You, when we can, why you doing that, Joe?
And my network now is look across, so sometimes I'm left behind. Okay. That's why when you called, I didn't hear.
Okay. So I was happy when you came. I'm talking about the real fact. It's happened. Oh, bye, and I was happy. Okay. The subjunctive needed. Oh, so in English, it's English. According to British English, it's wrong to use if with would. But the actual fact is that we normally use it in everyday speaking without thinking. Oh, if you would come, if you are, you don't use the if. But then that's how, like that's helped me to understand. Like it helped me to translate sentence in the present easily to what to German because I know that if I say if you would buy, it would be like kaufen würde. But then if the like saying the sentence in English would be what um if you if you would if you know we don't say if you would buy, that's wrong. If you had bought, or if you bought, or if you buy, English there because so if
And
you
on
came,
that,
if you
I was
bought,
happy when you come and also when you came.
which one?
Second one,
Ah, yeah, when you
when
came.
you came, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I will be happy when you come. I'm talking about all facts. And then I was happy when you actually what came. Klar? Then the subjunctive is I would be happy if you came. Okay. Yeah. In German, we use the worden. Worden plus the other verb. Okay. So in German, it's if you would do something. But then in English, if you say if you would, we don't use if with would. But so we prefer to use if you came, if you knew, if you if you if you bought, or if if you had bought, if you bought, if you buy, huh? That's a rich love. With buy, to buy will be what? If you bought, and I'm
Yeah.
okay.
I bought. I
Is
bought
that if you
if you,
bought?
yeah. I'll be happy if you buy. Yeah. Why? Nina, hey.
Rich love and Vanessa, like why are you guys mute? Like what's your problem? Like if you guys are struggling, then like our struggle is validated. Yeah, ours is validated. uh, yeah, so like basically
Yeah.
you get the concept, okay?
What's
You
that
get the
really
concept.
nice?
Yeah, 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 easy. Could see how could see yeah, English.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because I said English doesn't make sense because in the normal sentence you'd be like I was happy, but in the conjunctive sentence would be what I were happy. Like yeah, I were yeah, I were happy. or maybe I, like in the past, like you were happy, I were happy also. He were, yeah, he were rich. Yeah, yeah. English doesn't make sense. That's we found the conjunctive in subjunctive in English. And it's formed by if it's he was happy and you want to say like he would be happy is if he were happy. He if he were happy he would come. Okay, like how can you say if he were? But then that's how we form the conjunctive, the
I think it's
subjunctive
if you
in
were
English.
coming, and
No, I'm talking about happy.
if you come.
If
Okay,
he
okay.
if if you were happy, if he were happy, you don't say if he was happy. You say if he were happy, right? Yeah. Yeah. So like in English, it doesn't make sense. But I'm saying that always remember that in the present, the conjunctive, the present tense is formed with what? Würden plus the verb in what? Infinitive, which means the if would do exist in German, but when you are speaking the English sentence, you have to say if you came. Don't say if you would come, because in the German sentence you what? Would plus come, would plus say, if you would say. But in German we don't say if. In English we don't say if you would say, but if you said. Okay, we use it like this: if you said. So if you bought, yeah. So that's it. It doesn't sound right, but that's how it's formed. That's the actual one. So and this one will be what in the past tense. It will be ich wäre, ich wäre,
Glücklich.
ich wäre glücklich.
Glücklich.
Gewesen.
Wenn du
Wenn du
Gewesen.
Oh,
Ich wäre glücklich gewesen.
gewesen.
Ich wäre glücklich gewesen.
no way.
Oh, my mouse. Yeah, ich wäre glücklich gewesen, because here it's not would be, it would have been. So we are talking about sein, the past tense, the present participle, the present perfect or the past participle. Let me just use past participle henceforth. The past participle ist gewesen. The past participle for haben is what? Habe gehabt. Okay, so in this sentence it would have been, not would be. If you say would be, if you say when you say it's very glücklich, it still means I would be happy. But in this sentence, I would have been happy. So you need what? The present perfect or the past participle of what? Sein. Because we are talking about the past. I would have been happy. Okay, so it's very glücklich gewesen. Okay, because the present perfect is in the indicative is what? Ich bin gewesen. Okay, I have been is what? Ich bin gewesen. I have had will be what? Ich habe gehabt.
Yes.
So although they are used to form like present perfect, we use sein and haben to form the present perfect of others. They also use themselves to form their own present perfect, which you also need them in the conjunctive. You can't do away without them. You can't do away without them. Okay, they also need theirs to form their own what? Present perfect. Okay, so sein is sein to be. The past tense is war. Okay, then the present perfect ist gewesen. Haben is to have. The past tense is hatten. Then the present perfect is what? Habe gehabt or the hat gehabt, depending on the pronoun. Klar? Yeah. So it will be
Boy,
it's very
question.
yeah.
Gewesen, can you replace it with war?
Don't like var in conjunctive. Huh? In conjunctive, you mean
This
var?
statement here I'm making.
No, we are talking about
Is
things.
very glücklich.
Sorry, it's very glücklich gewesen, wenn du. So if you had come, will be.
Yeah, when do
Is it
hete?
um
Right?
When du gekommen wärest, ja. Oder wärst, ja. We prefer to use the first, but wärest is
Okay.
prestige. Okay, we are forming the past of the conjunctive. The thing didn't happen, so you can't say it's verglucklich. Immediately I say it's verglucklich. It means I'm talking about things that I'm saying the scenario actually happened in the indicative, but in this case it's subjunctive. We are talking about a thing that didn't happen. So if I use I was happy, it means the thing actually happened. But in this case, the person didn't come, so you weren't what happy. So I would rather say I would have been happy. Oh, if only you came, I would have been happy if you had come. Which means neither condition, neither the main clause or the conditional sentence happened. It means the first I wasn't happy in the past, and what the person what didn't what come. So we use when. It's still then in German, then for both indicative and what subjunctive. But then when I'm saying I will be happy, I don't say I will be happy if you come. If I say if, it means I'm not sure whether you come, then I have to use the conjunctive or the subjunctive. But then I'm saying I will be happy when you come. I know you are coming, so I know I will definitely be happy. And like I'm saying that in English, we don't appreciate English that much because like we use it, we just fit to fly. We don't actually think of it because like we've heard people use it, we've used it ourselves, or like we use it without format, but then like we have been making wrong sentences in English. So with the conjunctive, if your conditional sentences in English on real situation, if you mix the present and the past, you have problem understanding the conjunctive. But then the German is still simple because in the present, if it's would, we use the would to say something may happen or not. We use the would. So dependent, just voted plus something in the present. Then in the past, basically you just use the sign and haben. Then you change the sign to what? Wäre. It have been to wäre plus the past participle of the verb. Then hätte plus the past participle of what? The verb. Klar? Yeah, so
Okay.
yeah. So indicative states a fact. John is here. You can meet him. It means one, John is actually there, and you have the chance to meet him. Okay. The subjunctive of this sentence will be if John were here. Normally, do you say I was? Do you say I were here? You say I was here. But I'm saying in English, we just change the words to were for all of them to form the indicative. It actually doesn't make sense because in US you hear, oh, we was here. Movie, haven't you watched movies and they are like we was here? You see, even they so like the British, they actually use correct English, but the US child don't go there. That's why their English is not standardized. Blacks in the candy on pair, the whites also candy on pair. But then if we are talking about correct English, is the British. The British, they are very systematic, like their English are in order. Their English system is in order. Okay, yeah. So but then it doesn't make sense to say if I were, because normally you say he was, but then we form the subjunctive in English by changing was to were. Clear? So if John were here, you could, and I said in German, could is be able to. Okay, können means to be able to, but then it's just like in English can. So if you could meet him, or in the normal sense, if you would be able to meet him. Sorry, you would be able to meet him. So if he was here, you would be able to meet him, or if so I can't if he was here. Because that's what we've been using. Yeah. So if John were here, you could meet him, or you would be able to meet him. Clear? So the past tense for the indicative will be what? John was here. I was able to meet him. Right? I'm stating facts in the past. John was
Yeah, yeah.
and I was able to meet him. But in this sentence, I'm sending it out. If John had been here, if John had been here, I would have been able. I would have been able to meet him, or I could have met him. Clear? So who will try that
Yeah.
one?
When John
Yes.
here there, or
Because of when John here there, without using the duration, you are still saying if John would be here, but we are talking about the past. If John had been here, you get it? If John,
but if John were here,
no, I'm saying send the past. That I change it to basically. So this is the presence for the conjunctive. Yeah, then that's one. What is this? Yeah, the conjunctive present. Okay, so if John were here, it means John wasn't here. Hey, sorry, it means John is not there. If John were here, it means John isn't here. You could meet him. So the past would be what? If John had been here, you would have been. I don't want to use the could because let me say because I haven't talked about that first. That's the agenda for today. Would Yeah, you would meet him. If John had been here, you would have met him. Yeah. Now, this is the conjunctive, the past. Okay, klar. So this one to German will be the present.
then we're present. When John here there, the
Yeah.
reason.
Ne, present.
Or
Present.
okay, when John was there,
Yeah.
you would meet him. You
No.
no.
When we start the sentence with the conditionals, the naming starts, the main clause starts with the verb.
Sure.
When John here, würde du ihn treffen oder treffen is traf for the past tense, so the conjunctive is what treffe, and also you treffe T-R-A umlaut F-E. Yeah. The original conjunctive is treffe. It sounds treffe, but then because of the umlaut, so it sounds like itself. And treffer is treffer, but then it's umlaut here. Yeah, klar.
Okay.
So the past will be what?
The pathway. When John here Eric division rudest two.
You don't, the wood is present. Voden is for present. Voden is present. So here is would have plus met, and would have is what? Hätten. Hättest du ihn getroffen?
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Charlie, I did go here with so Charlie.
Oh, you grab.
Okay, so with the modal verbs, let's start with können. Okay, using the modal conjunctive with modal verbs. Okay, our first modal verb is können. Which in English means to be able to, or used like can find the verb in English. Okay, so it's the past tense. It's on the umlaut. Okay, past tense. And the past participle is have become. Yeah, but like I said, we don't use the past participle for the modal verbs. It's have to wollen, yeah, wollen. Ich habe gewollt. I didn't want a friend. Ich habe keine Freund gewollt. Oder ich wollte keine Freunde. Okay. But they normally say ich habe keine Freunde gewollt instead of ich wollte keine Freunde. Okay. Yeah. I didn't want a friend. Okay. I wanted no friend. So voting. But normally they use with voting, they normally use have gewollt. Okay. Yeah. So how do we form the conjunctive for können? Rule says that we use the past tense. Okay, then we put umlaut if the past tense contains a, o, and u. Sorry, yeah. So it contains o, so which means we just change. It already ends with e, so there's no need for us to add what e at the end. We can't add another e, but then we can change the o to what o umlaut. Clear? Yeah. So you want to say, oh, I could come. Sorry, yeah, I could come. I could come if was
Spread.
hmm?
Hey, bro, for the
I could come
I
if
could come.
I could come if you called me.
Rich love.
Or
could come if you Mhm.
but you know, you called me.
Yeah. More examples. If I
Okay. If
if
oh,
I cook
examples need read it's very difficult to quote them.
if I cook
Okay, if I
Vanessa, you said if I cook you would be able
I thought you're using
to eat it.
couldn't know.
Yeah. So here I just translated the code and could to what
Be able
would
to
be
okay,
able.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fine.
Um
I don't know if in quantity bit maybe so.
for conditional sentence we use if. Collins, if you're not talking, you have to mute. We could get there early. Let me say we could arrive early if
If we came with the bus. So that means if I from my side confused though. If we came with the bus.
yes, correct.
Is this
If we came with the bus.
I think it's because we don't use it right. That's why
Normally, because we could arrive early if we would come with the bus.
with the
Then,
bus.
yeah, but in English we don't use the if with would, so we use it. We just send it into the past tense. Yeah, if I were rich, I would buy a car. Yeah, Vanessa, but we are using we want sentence that contains kernel to be able to. Okay, yeah, we are now dealing with.
Vanessa's sentence, I think you can I think many are things. I think you can make it I'll be able to buy a car.
Yeah, I would be able to buy a car if I earned a lot of money. Okay. Okay, so let's start. Then we have to send each of them like each to the past. Okay, so I could come if you called me. I could have come. You don't say I could have came. I could have came or I could have come. I could have come if
Yeah, could have come.
you had called me. Yeah. So the second sentence would be if I cook, you would be able to taste. If I had cooked, You could have tasted. In German, we need you could have tasted it. Okay? You can't say I taste. In German, I taste needs a direct object. It's a transitive verb. You have to say I taste the food. I taste. Like you can't just say I taste. It needs. It needs. Yeah. It needs. Yeah, make up cry. It needs is correct, but then don't use it. But for phone, they won't use it. Actually, one else I don't use. The call is not a key. Karen, as I chronicle. Karen asked me to me. I don't know whether to put her with Rich Love and Vanessa or with us. Okay, so we could arrive early if we came with the bus. Yeah, I want to. So we would have been able to come early, to arrive early if we had come with the bus. Okay.
Okay.
But you can say we could have arrived earlier.
Yeah, I don't want to.
See,
Like,
arrive in a day arrived. You would have been able to. Oh, okay, to arrive. Okay. If you use a could need yeah.
yeah. At the end of the day, I'm cool. My technology, how am I originally still in time? Just send it to the end. Behave. Because it's better tables, I'm moving. Ah, like I hope that you've written it down because I can't push this one to this end because it's not a table. All right, so I would be able to buy a car if I earned a lot of money. It will be what? I
I would
could,
have been able to buy a car.
yeah,
Oh, okay, I could.
just could have bought a car if I had earned
And
a
a
lot
lot of money.
of money. Okay, so okay, so we have to send each. The table will be better. Okay, so technology, the technology. So I could come if you called me. I could have come if you had called me. If I cook, you would be able to taste it If I had cooked, you could have tasted it. We could arrive early if we came with the bus. We would have been able to arrive early if we had come with the super. I would be able to buy a car if I earned a lot of money. I could have bought a car from the, African, like we don't trust AI, so I have to go through the work if AI kept my content. Yeah, African, yeah, got a automatic like car with a remote. After pressing the lock,
Boy,
you
when
still
you
open
have
the doors.
AI for community.
Yeah, you still open the doors to check if the car, the doors are locked. We don't trust technology, we know our people. So that's clear. Okay. So next to German will be I could come if you called me. Okay, we said in the present is what? Present is what? Könnte. Okay. Then the past is what? The past participle is what? Habe gekonnt. Okay. Yeah, but we only use the hätte, but the können will remain unconjugated at the end of the verb with the other verb. Yeah, you watch the standard. Like it doesn't make sense. So like with this one, you don't have to understand. You only have to what be practical with it and use it. This you can't correlate it to English. It doesn't exist in English. Okay. So let's say with the present, I could come if you called would be what?
Ich konnte kommen.
Yeah. Ich könnte kommen. Always be mindful when you write when you write sentences and they're talking about could as in something may be able to to succeed, something may we are talking about conjunctive. Be mindful to use the O to add the umlaut. Immediately you write the sentence without umlaut, you are talking about the past. Okay, in the indicative, you're talking about the past. So ich könnte kommen. Okay, just like other verbs. I could come, ich könnte kommen. So in this sentence, it contains what? Würden können. This könnte is the same as this here. Is equal to würden können. Okay, because we said we form the conjunctive by simply combining würden plus the verb in what? Klar infinitive. Okay, but this is the original form, the original conjunctive form. Yeah, klar. So ich könnte kommen. If you use the würden können, it will be ich würde kommen können, like a what. So that's why with the modal verbs we use the original. But inside always the sentence will be plenty. Okay, just use the original. Ich könnte kommen. Wenn du
mich anrufen
anrufen würdest, ja. Anrufen würdest. Okay, I will be happy. It doesn't exist in English, but if you would call me, but in English it's rather if you called me. Okay, but with the German standard, we use when the conditional sentence with would. But English doesn't exist. You have to send it to the past tense. Okay, no. Then the past tense, I could have come. It's from the past tense is could have. It's hätte können. Okay, the past tense is hätte können.
Okay.
Normally, it should have, if we were to follow the normal, like with the other verbs, it would have been what? Hätte gekonnt, oder? It would have been hätte gekonnt. Yeah, but with modal verbs, we don't use the hätte the gekonnt. We say hätte können. So it will be ich hätte kommen können. Okay. The modal verb will go to the end of the sentence next to the verb, then so ich hätte kommen können. Yeah. Wenn. Mm-hmm.
Wenn du mich
Mm-hmm.
angerufen oder
Yeah. Angerufen
I think
hättest.
hättest.
Yeah. Okay.
Boy, question.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this
Kone
is
nipa boy ɛhyɛ common kone no nti there is no way I'll bet me use the content. So
no,
wait me
no,
Anna.
but don't use it with in this sentence. Nah, you shouldn't.
Okay.
Don't use it.
Boy, one more question. How
Yeah. Yeah.
is it say without verb, and then hitting a corner say,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like their
because
past is formed with haben. Their past is formed with haben. Okay. In this sentence,
okay,
like I said, don't try to make sense
okay,
of it. Just stick to the structure because it doesn't make sense. Because if I tell you what, like if I tell you that in this sentence, können is still the main verb, like I said, like why am I saying that? But in German, like they are saying in this sentence, although the können is at the end of the verb, it's still the main verb. That's the structure with without verb. Doesn't make sense. So if that's why, like, yeah, then let's go. I'll use it when in Nebensatz. That means in Nebensatz, if können is the main verb, it means in the Nebensatz können have to go to the end of the verb, right? But in this sentence, if you were
yeah,
to say the right, like according to the normal German structure, in this sentence, it means what? Hätte is still what? The main verb. But in German, with modal verbs in the conjunctive, the modal verb is what? Still the main verb. So it will be ich hätte kommen, wenn ich hätte kommen können. It will still stay unconjugated, but we still conjugate what? The hätte according to the pronoun. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like I'm saying, with the modal verbs, you have to just use it. So if it's I should have come, it was ich hätte kommen sollen. I am I'm gonna say it won't can you say I should have want maybe I can't actually use the wollen in this case. I should have come. I must have come in the past. I must have come. Ich hätte kommen müssen. Like they follow the same structure, okay? Just that it doesn't make sense, but then you have to use it. This is the structure. Okay, but let's continue. So if I cook, you could, you could taste, or you would be able to taste will be. Present, Charlie. Just be active. Okay. If I cook.
if I could, you will be able to cook. So when is
The sentence will be if I cooked, not if I cook. Order? Yeah.
yeah cooked, yeah
Yeah.
cooked, yeah.
Yeah. If I cook. Yeah.
When is cooked,
When? When
is cooked.
Ne, wenn ich kochen würde. Okay. You're saying if. It means there's a possibility that it may happen or it may not. When I say when ich koche, I'm saying when I cook. Do you get it? It's no more if, it's when. Maybe you are describing something, you say, when I cook in the evening, my family eats with my family eats with me. Wenn ich am Abend koche, ist meine Familie mit mir. Okay, I'm talking about the indicative. But when I say if I cook, it means it's a possibility. You may cook or you may not. So then you have to use cooking verdes. Verde. You have to use comment. Then I comment the question. Verden plus. Okay. So in the sentence, if it's if, then you have to use the conjunctive. the conjunctive in this sentence is present, okay, which is wooden plus, but it's when is indicative and if is what conjunctive. We just use it like that. So I understand why. So it's wenn ich kochen würde. Or
But imagine you have
yeah. But I'm saying that in English, if I say if I cook, you can't say if I cook. It's as if when I cook. In English, you can't say if I cook. Other Rachel and Vanessa, you can't say if I cook. You have to say when I cook. Immediately I say if, then I have to send it to the past. If I cooked. Okay, which means it's a possibility that if the if here means it's a possibility, I may cook or I may not cook. But when I'm saying that when I cook, I'm talking about indicative here. But if I may perform the activity, then it's worden plus. Unless I'm talking about the past, then it will be what? Depending on the verb, whether they cooked, hete, or the klar. This thing is not difficult.
Ravi.
Yeah.
I don't know, but this is the only part I made do a cat. I mean, who should be?
No, it's here. You said because I'm saying I'm about something. I'm talking about something that may happen or may not. If I cooked, you would be able to taste. Okay, if I cooked, I'm talking about the future, like not necessarily the future, but I'm saying since you you are here, that means if I cooked, you would be able to taste it. But I haven't cooked yet, and I don't know if I should cook or not. So then it's what? Conjunctive. You're talking about like first you haven't performed the cooking, and you are saying there's a possibility that if only you do the activity, the person will also have the ability to what? To taste it. You're talking about conjunctive here. The problem with this conjunctive is in English, we don't actually think about tenses. We just speak it. We just speak it out. Like we don't think about them. But when you are learning languages, you have to know tenses, the tenses itself. Like you have to know the topic you are learning and how to correlate it in English. So if in English you learned it without knowing the tense, because I tell you for a fact that like not even me personally, when I was learning the conjunctive, I didn't know that I've heard of subjunctive. I remember maybe in the primary school we were taught subjunctive, but I never thought that the subjunctive is actually basically it means using it to describe something in the future until I started learning German. Then I had to correlate it. Okay, so if I cooked, you can't say if I cook. In English, it's wrong. You can only say when I cook. We can only say the when with present tense. That's wenn ich koche. That's indicative. But if you say if, immediately you say if in English, like the sentence you want to translate to German. If it's if something, then you have to know that the thing is not in existence right now. So you have to use what? The conjunctive. But when I do something, then you know that there is actually a positive a feedback. When something happens, then maybe when I sleep late at night, I wake up late in the morning. You can't say if I sleep late in the night, I wake up. You can only say if I sleep late at night, I would wake up late in the morning, because you are saying if it happened, like it hasn't happened yet. You haven't actually gone slept yet, but you're saying if I sleep now, you can't say if I sleep now, I will wake up in the no. It's, you see, in English, that's what we say. We make those sentences. If I sleep now, I will wake up early in the morning. It's wrong. It's if I sleep now,
But
I would
nothing,
wake up.
you know what you can
Mhm.
if I cook, would be any moon. Maybe the wood now be shahano, view the now we use no. And then I mean answer my because if I cook, one can if I would cook, or that if I would be
You see,
okay, I say,
I'm saying in English, we don't say this the if with would. That's the problem. But the moment here and say, I translate this sentence as if I would cook, but in English, it's wrong to say if I would cook. It's wrong. Okay. But I know that in German, this sentence, when I say if I would cook, I'm correct. But in English, you can't say if I would cook. You have to say, I say, if you can say, listen, if he were rich. Okay, in English, this is the correct thing. So in German, when you translate this sentence, it will be what if he would be rich. Okay, the would be with what? Either würden sein or the what wäre. But in English, this tense is wrong. It's like grammatically wrong. You can't use the if with would. I've repeatedly said that you can't use the if with would, but in German, when we are forming the sentence, we use the would with the would with if. Okay, here, for example, you see when if you would call me, but when I say if you would call me, like in grammatical sentence, grammatical in English grammar, that is wrong. It's if you had called me. Sorry, if you called me. Clear? So
topic
the
me
would
sure say B1 and A1 A2 level.
the 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 problem. I'm saying the problem is not with the German language. The problem is with English, because this tense exists in German, but it doesn't exist in English. So I'm saying that media boy many say in English, and I never use this if he were rich. In my brain, I just translated it as if he would be rich. So then I'll have to use the wurden in the present.
That's it. Boy, I know catch us and so you should say.
But I said it. I said, say, that's what helped me to understand it. I know, say, if would, we don't, in English, we don't combine if plus would. Conditional sentence, we don't use these two. If plus would, that is false. That is wrong. But in German, it exists. That's the only way you can form the conjunctive in what? In the present tense. So that's what, in my head, I translated it as that. Okay. But it's also good to know that the correct English tense is rather what if he were rich, because I'm saying that in English they'll rather change the words to were to form the conjunctive. Because if you say if he would be something, the if plus would makes the tense wrong in English. But in German, you use the wurden plus dot 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 to form what the conditional sentence. Klar? Okay, so that's where the wurden comes in. So like according to this sentence, is if he would cook, which doesn't exist in German, in English, or what if I cooked, okay, you would be able to taste. Ubi, könntest du, oh,
Okay.
I need it. Könntest du es, ja, bring my umlaut. Könntest du es was schmecken? So the past will be if I had cooked. You're not talking about if only I had cooked. If wenn ich gekocht hätte.
Okay, wenn ich geguckt hätte.
When I was gekocht hätte.
Hättest du?
Boy, after I had I gekocht. Now you cooking.
Past tense. The past tense is ich habe what?
First one,
The
I
past,
have to use past.
huh?
If I have the present one,
Mm-hmm.
I think we use if I had cooked. I will translated it as vanish. I don't know vanish get cooked food, but we use vanish cooking. But here they come to use get cooked.
Listen, in the present tense, conjunctive in present tense is if I would cook, which is wrong in English, but then it works in German. So in English, you form the tense by just sending it to the past by just using the past tense. So if I cooked, okay, you would be able to taste it. So we said, wenn ich kochen würde, konntest du es schmecken. Okay, but here is if I had cooked. I'm saying in the past, if only I had cooked in the past. Here, the changes here, what makes us in the past tense is the had. If I had cooked in the past, you could have tasted it. So, and the past tense for form the present perfect is formed by like haben plus cooking is habe gekocht. So I said in the past, and just think the have to what hätte, but the gekocht will remain there. So like I don't know where this new confusion is from. So hättest du es schmecken können?
Boy, say study present.
Then
Present tense. If somebody say if I could come, how can that one be present tense? Maybe a different from you. Most people are permanent. Now present day. That's it. Present tense. Do so we because I don't know
I'm saying so like just remember, just use it this way. I said when you try to correlate it to English, it doesn't make sense in the English language. Okay, because here the German say if you want to say something may happen, use would. Okay, use would. But English they are saying that if something may happen in the like in the to form the would in German. Like we use would, even in English, we use would have, would have. We only use the would have in the past, okay? But we also use the would, maybe would come, would do, okay? But then in the how do you call it? In the I think the problem is actually with the modal verbs. Because in the other sentence, you can say if he would come. So that one was easier to grab. Okay, you just say if he a comment würde. Okay, but in the normal sense, it's still if he came. It's not actually if he would come. It's if he came. But then we translate it to German as if he would come, then what? If when he comment würde. So like it's a problem between English and German here. It has nothing to do. So just keep the German format. Just remember that if you want to make sentences that are unreal, oh, if I eat the food now, in the category what if I eat the food now, I'll be hungry in the evening. Okay. But I'm like, if I ate the food, um, I would be hungry in the evening. This is the conjunctive form in the present tense. If I ate or if I eat. If I ate, yeah, if I ate, I would be hungry in the evening. Okay, then the past would be, if I had ate the food, I would have been hungry. So like in the past, you can say would have been hungry in the club. Like it's just know that if you are making unreal situation, like just remember that if the sentence you are making first you are making an unreal situation, like sentence that actually don't exist now. You'll be like, if my father in the like in the indicator be if my father comes, we'll go together. You can say like in the it's even if my father can within the if come, it makes it so you have to when my father comes, we will go together. That's the indicative. You know that when your father comes, you guys will go together. But in the indicative, when you don't know if your father may or may not come, then what? If my father came, we would go together. That's the present tense. But in English, you say we just use came. I know that the case like until they say we say came, but like we are saying it's still in the present. It's English, it's not mine. You can't say if like in English, if you want to say in the future, if the person would be rich, which is wrong in English, you so in English they'll say if he were rich. How can you say if he were rich? But in English, they are saying that's the present tense. But here, so it's the same thing. Like it translates throughout. So the problem is not even with German, it's actually with English. Because in English, when you're talking about whether the future or something that will happen, that may happen in the future, but you are not sure. But when we are talking about the future, like we still say that it's in the present tense because like the next 5 seconds is still in the future. So okay, it doesn't have to sound like future for you to know that we are talking about the present tense. The next 5 minutes is still future. So when we are to use that sentence, we still have to use what they like, in the past tense with English. But in German, just say that, just remember that if you are making the sentence and you know that the thing is not actually in existence right now, even though in English you have to use the past tense, just use the would come, would turn on, would unless this is in the past, you can't actually change the situation now. And you'll be like, if I had time, I would maybe like if I had time, I would have given the patient the medication. If I had had time, sorry, if I have had time, I would have given the patient's medication. That's the past tense. But with this sentence, you have to, when you bring it to English in the present tense, in the present subjunctive, it will be, if I had time, I would give the patient the medication. So we use what if I had time, which is wrong, like which is correct in English. Okay, but it's still the subjunctive in the present tense, but they still use had. So it has nothing, the problem is not with German. It's just that in English, English. In English, the subjunctive move the subjunctive II in English. We still use the sentence in the past tense. We use the past tense in the present tense. So it has nothing to do with German. Okay. So what you are complaining about has not it's not German's fault. Just if I cooked, it's not German's fault, it's English. The thing hasn't happened yet, but English, you can't say if I would cook. They are saying if I would cook is wrong, but that's what helped me to understand. I use that to make those sentences. That's what helped me to understand. Because in English, you have to say if I cooked. I haven't cooked yet, so why am I saying these things in the past tense? Okay, because you guys are saying it's the present, the subjective with the present tense. So why are you saying if I cooked? But it's English. So what helped me to understand is that I won't use the if I cooked. If I could, I would rather say if I would cook, which I know is wrong in English. But then that's what helped me to understand. So if I say if I would cook, then I know I'm talking about something that would happen or may not happen. Clear? Yeah. So it's not German's fault, and it has nothing to do with the level of German. If your understanding of the English, if you don't understand the subjunctive in English and how it is formed, you still have difficulty learning this conjunctive in whether C1, C2, C3. At the end of the day, it has nothing to do with the level of language, but then your previous knowledge with what English itself. Do you get it? Yeah.
Yeah, my friend English. No, it's rich. The
me just remember because me just remember tomorrow we are going back to the book. So like you just have to find way to absorb it. It's not my fault, it's not German's fault. There's a problem with English. So you just have to find your way around it and find a way that will help you. Yeah. So we could arrive early if we came with the bus. See, in English, you said if we came with the bus first, we haven't even gone to the bus station. We haven't like we don't we like we haven't even planned to take the we haven't even taken the bus yet. But in English, you can't say if we would take the bus. But in German, that exists. We use the verb with würde. And say if what we would take the bus. That's the translation of the sentence in German. But in English, we can't. They said with the conditional sentence, we don't combine if and would. Okay. So here is came. So it has nothing to do with German. It's just the tense in English. So you just have to, like I said, me, I will just translate, oh, if you would come. If you're talking about something that hasn't happened yet, I'll just use the verb in German. So in my head, the sentence means if I would or if something would, dot, 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 which in English it doesn't exist, but then it works for me because that's how I form my sentence in what German. So we would arrive early. We could arrive early, but wir könnten früh ankommen. Yep. And umlaut for yeah, and also umlaut. Okay. So it hasn't happened yet. So in my head, since it hasn't happened yet, and we are just giving a clause, if something happens, something may happen, then wenn wir mit dem Bus fahren würden. Okay. Ja, fahren, ja. Yeah. So it's the same sentence. Where from the verb? Because in the sentence there's no what would. But then because it hasn't happened yet, German, that's how we form it. With the verb plus, which doesn't exist in English. So by me, I will just to form this sentence, I won't say we could arrive early if we came with the bus. In my own head, before I translate the sentence to German, I'll rather say we could arrive early when if we would come with the bus, which is wrong in English, but then it works for me it helps me to translate the sentence to German. Yeah. So the past will be, we would have been able to arrive early. I'm talking about the past now. We would have been able to arrive early if we had come with the bus. So, wir hätten if you have problem understanding why the current will come in this sentence, you can also say forget the would plus been able and basically say we could have, because would have been able here also means could have. So you know where the
Okay.
could wir hätten früh
If we are coming.
ja, kan we type you laten praten naar jou. Wir hätten früh ankommen können, wenn wenn
When we had
When you're talking about the past, don't think just if it's wir sind angekommen will be what wir wären angekommen. When wir mit
den Bus. Den Bus.
wer ja.
But when you so happy, no.
Hätte vor
To replace the variant.
no. We still stick to the roots. If the past participle is formed with sein, we won't use in English. We don't say would be. We don't say would have be. No. In English, it doesn't exist. We always reform the past tense. Shauman, yeah. I think my kind of so.
But the first one, you so come, but you so hate it.
No, I'll never, my brother. I've never. Where is it?
Boy, what I call for sure, kaka.
Let me-
The second statement.
Get
First
coming
one.
first. Where is it? No, okay.
Oh, kodan. The table, the first statement. Come be who. How can I marry? Anyway, the table.
No, okay. Which sentence? Which table?
We're working on it here. The first we
Yeah. That's one. This sentence has to do with the modal verb können, and we don't say design. We don't say wäre können. With modal verbs, that's what I said here. I said the past tense of the modal verbs is formed with haben. Okay, the past tense is formed with haben.
Maybe starting and continue modal verb. Continue use very nana.
Yeah, because there's no modal verb. So in the past, this sentence it just came itself, which is what been become or been become. Yeah, because of the modal verb. So it has nothing to do. This sentence hätte kommen können has this hätte has nothing to do with kommen, but just this hätte is with the modal verb. Okay, it has nothing to do with kommen. Fine. Yeah. No.
It's rima as a common if you say hetten so they are.
No, it's still the hätte is moving with können, the modal verb. So all the modal verbs is formed with haben, not sein, unless the verb stands alone. That's kommen stands alone, which is I came, would have come. Okay, so this sentence has not why. But if it's I should have come, it is what ich hätte kommen sollen. Ich hätte kommen sollen. So I would be able to buy a car if I earned a lot of money. So in this sentence, it's still if I earned a lot of money. Okay, it's still if I earned a lot of money. We're still talking about the future. So in German, this sentence doesn't work for me in English. I would rather say if I would earn a lot of money, so that my voden will come in. That the sentence will be much easier for me. Tell me what ish.
Ich konnte.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. I wasn't. Yeah. I would be able. So ich konnte. You said?
Yeah, confused. That's how over confused here more.
Ich könnte.
Ich konnte ein Auto kaufen, wenn ich viel Geld, oder?
Ja,
Wenn ich
viel
viel
Geld
verdienen, oder?
verdienen.
Verdienen viel. Video. Oh, ja, klar. Der war krank.
Okay. So I'm talking about the past now.
Oh,
I couldn't buy the car now,
yeah.
but I'm just saying, if I had the chance to go back in time, I believe that I could have bought a car if I had earned a lot of money. So,
So, ishete, other, ishete, ein Auto kaufen können. Okay. Wenn ich, okay, oder hatte ich auch irgendwie,
na, wenn ich viel Geld
okay,
verdient,
relax. Mhm.
so relax,
Richtig.
wenn
Ja,
ich
verdient, ja, viel Geld
hätte,
hättest. Okay, hätte
not hätte, because the pronoun is ich. Wenn ich viel Geld
ich, ja.
verdient hätte. So with the past tense, with the
Mhm.
other verbs, it's just like ich habe verdient. I was oh, I've had a lot of money, but ich habe viel Geld verdient. So just change the haben to hätte. Then keep your participle zwei, which is the verdient.
Okay.
Well,
Boy, if I'm more examples there, now I'm quite, at least,
for example, so because we'll go to solving.
no, I'm not gonna
Yeah, my Wi-Fi went away. Ah, where are the rest? Uh, Ferdinand. Sorry, Zoland. And teach music instead. To help to more money makes more, okay? Makes
Yeah.
more.
But the way now, it's easy. I say, we need to see now complicated. Say, bro, for name head.
But it's, I never thought, maybe they're sure.
Oh, no,
They're sure.